In today's video, we are going to check out if these four pedals can hang with the Sunn Model T. What's up everyone? My name is Zach. Before we start this video, I just want to put a disclaimer out. By no means is this video saying any of these are better than the other. We did this video for science and we just want to see how close we could get these pedals to sound to an actual Model T. So I just wanted to put that out there and that's it. So we've had this idea kicking around for about 6 or 7 months right now. It's always been pushed to the back burner because we've had a steady flow of regular pedal demos throughout the year, so those always go first for these fun videos that we're doing today. I just wanted to put this out there because there is not a video that I've seen, that John's seen, that is comparing an actual Model T to these and trying to get them as close as possible to this guy right here. So we said fuck it and we did it. So the 4 pedals that we use for this demo would be the following. First is the Exegol from Curo. I did a full demo on this earlier in the year. If you want to go back and check that out, that'd be awesome. Second would be the Model FET from Electronic Audio Experiments. Same thing. I did a full demo on this already earlier in the year. Check it out. This is the Midnight Amplification Giant Sound. Never played this. This is the first time I played it and it's pretty cool. And then lastly is the Burning Sun from Ground Effects. These 4 pedals I feel definitely have the reputation of being able to capture the tone this thing could put out. All right, so I know a few of you are probably asking yourself, Zach, why is there a mid-selector switch on this Model T? That's clearly a second gen. You're absolutely right, but it isn't. John bought this off of somebody that knew somebody working on with Fender on the Sunn project in the early 2000s when they were going to reissue this. But then they decided to come out with the Sunn 5150. After that one rolled out, they were supposed to reissue the first gen how it was originally supposed to be, and basically this was one of the units that they were going to use to model the production amps. So everything is modded to first gen specs on this. I can tell you for a fact that it does sound identical to a first gen Model T because we had 2 in the studio at one time where we actually A/B'd this versus a first gen Model T and they sounded identical. Second, I owned a second gen at one point and I really didn't like it. And me and John put this next to my second gen and this blew it out of the water. This had the growl, this had everything. Mine just sounded like a hollow mess, and that was one of the reasons why I got rid of it. So yes, this is a second gen enclosure, but everything inside is strictly first gen. It does have KT88s in it. The transformers are original. I just want to say this amp is almost 50 years old. So after a while, components start to drift, things start to sag a little bit, and each amp is going to sound a little bit different. You could have 2 of the same Model Ts from the same era, same production line, put them side by side, and they're going to sound slightly different. So I just wanted to put that out there for this video, just to say, like, listen, just because this sounds like this doesn't mean it's going to sound like yours.
Hey guys, I'm John. I'm the engineer and owner here at the Animal Farm. And I guess I'll show you guys the signal flow for today's video with the Model T. All right, so let's walk through the signal path for the Model T shootout video. So off the bat, Zach and I agreed that we need to have as many variables eliminated in this video as possible to be able to show accurately what each pedal could do in comparison to the Model T. And so off the bat, we figured the most simple way of doing that to begin with was by getting a clean DI capture of his guitar playing 2 different riffs. And so, in long story short, a DI is basically where you take the guitar and plug it into a box that typically contains a transformer or something similar that corrects for impedance, and changes the impedance of the guitar from instrument level impedance to a line level impedance, or a microphone level impedance, which then would feed into a microphone preamp and be boosted to line level impedance, which would then go directly into your interface. And so what that effectively means that it makes the guitar loud enough that the computer can accurately record it and capture it, as well as corrects for any changes in tone that might have happened if you just plugged your guitar straight into an interface, as well as just give you a nice clean guitar signal that you can later use to feed into pedals or another amplifier through a process known as reamping or reamplification. So we took a guitar. Here's my guitar, right? This is a terrible guitar. We took a guitar. This is Zach's Les Paul, believe it or not, and we ran it into a DI, specifically an Electrodyne mic preamp, and then that went straight into Pro Tools. Okay, and so we're going into Pro Tools from the DI. And so after we recorded the DI, we looped it, and in Pro Tools we looped it, and then we sent it back out of Pro Tools using a send, and that went into a box known as a Radial JD7. So the JD7 is awesome because it's this active splitter that also corrects for impedance, as well as has all these great features such as ground lifts and phase switches. Really useful studio tool. We sent it into the JD7. And the JD7 split the signal into 4 parallel signals that then fed each one of the pedals. And so we have our 4 pedals here, right? And out of those pedals, we then, again, treated them as if they were a preamp. So we sent them straight from the pedal into a Day King mic preamp, into the DI inputs on the Day King mic preamp, which then all went back into Pro Tools, again as separate channels in Pro Tools. And in Pro Tools we use an amp simulator on each of the 4 channels, but eliminated and turned off the preamp as well as the cabinet simulator, and only used the power amp simulation on each of these amplifier simulators. And so that one that we use is known as the BX Rocker Gain 100, which is made by a company called Brainworks, which I believe they're based out of Germany and they make fantastic stuff. So we use the power amp and the basically what is an emulation of a rocker verb, an orange rocker verb. And so that takes care of the pedals. In addition to that, because we also wanted to get the same capture through the Model T, and we wanted to use the Model T for both its preamp and power amp stages, we sent a separate send out of Pro Tools simultaneously that went into a DI, but in reverse. So it corrects for impedance, but in the other direction. And that went into our Model T. This is a Model T right there, believe it or not. And it went out of the Model T, from one of the speaker outputs directly into a box known as the Torpedo Studio, which is a load box and cabinet simulator by a company known as 2 Notes. But we did not use the cabinet IRs. We just took a raw feed from the Torpedo, and that went back into Pro Tools as well. And so in Pro Tools, on the channel for the Model T, we did not use the Rocker Gain 100, but we did use the same cabinet simulator across all 4 pedals and the Model T, which was a emulation, as an impulse response from a Mesa Boogie 4x12 with vintage 30s, just to keep the sound and the kind of tonal landscape, continuous and similar throughout everything. And so that's the basic signal flow.
All right, so the purpose of this video is not to show the wide range of these pedals. The purpose of this video is to show that these pedals can come very, 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 very close to sounding like a Sunn Model T. I do want to know, let's say we put everything at noon on the Model T and then everything at noon on a Model FET or an Exegol. They will sound drastically different. There is a lot of tweaking that you have to do in order to get these to sound similar to one another. I think all of these 100% nailed the Model T tone, because there were sometimes we were doing playbacks, I didn't know which was which at some point. So I just wanted to put that out there. Like I said, we did it for science, guys. We just did it for science.
Science rules.
So we did a low gain setting where we set a low gain setting on the actual Model T. Then we played around with the pedals up here to try to get them as close as possible to the tone of the Model T. So we did a low gain, medium gain, a medium gain where we shook up the EQ on the Model T, a high gain, and then a high gain with a Earthquaker Devices Black Ash in front of these pedals and the Model T. All right, so that is the video right there. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave a comment below. Let me know your thoughts about it. Let me know what we did right. Let me know what we did wrong. I don't care. I'm glad we got this video out here, and there's more to come. I appreciate it, everyone.